fights have looked pretty decent. But I mean, Victory 5 honestly looking like
V5 are the second tier team.
I think, in my opinion, LGD are very much up there. Granted, they couldn't match up to top esports, but RNG as well have been looking pretty
RNG
good.
right now, I would say maybe is number 2. I know we're in pick and ban. We're seeing the same picks. I like the Aphelios ban. Thank you so much. Sick of the champion while Casa gets his Lee Sin. But RNG's a great one. Because RNG could be like second or third with the way IG and FPX are.
Yeah, I mean, we can revisit that. FPX have only played 3 series so far, so I don't want to give too much of a
And we don't see them on
them.
English broadcast days. They're actually up tomorrow. It's
So
kind of sad.
let's take a look at the compositions as they're drafting so far. Again, we have a lot of mid-game power on the side of top esports. Again, they've got that Ezreal Yuumi to work with. On the other side, BLG, they have a very nice bottom lane here. Kai'Sa and Nautilus is a staple duo because Nautilus is able to proc the plasma for Kai'Sa, so brings a lot of damage on in. The concern I have, though, is once again, you're looking towards the late game here for Wings. And I don't think the top esports are ever going to allow you to get to the late game. So we need some kind of mid-game powerhouse coming through for BLG when it comes to that top lane of mid.
That's sad because Wings didn't do anything in game 1. Not his fault, just that Kai'Sa never got to that point.
He's on Kai'Sa, right?
And he lost lane massively to Jackie and Yu Yanjahu. Yuumi was left open yet again. Ezreal's just the biggest problem. Jackie and Yu Yanjahu getting that duo once more does not fill me with confidence at all, even if you have a Nautilus this time.
It's a difficult one for BLG, and now we'll see what direction they want to go in. Is the bans going towards Knight, going towards 369 in the top lane as well. The Wukong certainly would open up some windows for BLG. Gives them a lot of more power when it comes to fighting around dragons and heralds. Once you hit that level 6 mark, Kingin can disrupt a lot of what top esports want to do.
Kingin to get influence in this game would be really nice. The Jace didn't hit the mark in game 1. Probably was the most fed member on the side of BLG. The solo laners here on BLG have been the standouts in the past, especially Fofo. He's got a mid-counter pick to finish this game too. As 369 and Mordekaiser, not often you see that. Has he played it yet? That is a very good question, Hysterics.
Yeah, he's played it twice so far. 369 has played a ton of different picks so far this split, but Mordekaiser, I mean, we know from last split as well that 369 is a very versatile player. He will play whatever is necessary for his team. And now the pick for Knight. Obviously, he has to go blind in this mid lane, so you'd expect something a little bit safer. We saw him hover in things like the Echo. I don't anticipate him going blind.
Here we go. The Orianna. Now, there's 2 big Orianna players right now in the LPL. One of them's Rookie. The other one is Knight. This is alongside his most played champion. Fofo, what are you going to play into it? He's going through his mid lane champ pool.
I mean, Orianna's great because there are so few bad matchups in the game. Like, Orianna is safe in pretty much every matchup in that mid lane, so Knight can blind pick that comfortably. It's incredibly good in the meta right now. We've seen it a ton over in LEC, over in LCS as well. And we're going to see Fofo's Azir coming on up against it. This is something Fofo has played a billion times over the years. But again, look at when these teams spike. Huge mid-game power on the side of top esports, but with a Kai'Sa, with an Azir, BLG very much looking towards the very late stages of the game. And I don't think top esports are ever going to allow them to get to that stage.
Look at that pick potential. Lee Sin, the Orianna Shockwave, however it can be used. You got a Yuumi and Ezreal, and you got the Death Realm. So if you're in front of objective, just to single out one target, or then force everyone into the circle. That's kind of crazy. Top esports, we're not saying they're not favored, because they are. BLG, it's good to see them change things up a little bit, but how do they get to this late game? How do they set up for these fights when top esports never let them in game 1?
I think there's
interesting.
I think there's going to be a lot of priority around this top lane for them, honestly, because, you know, things like I mean, you could try and set up the Kai'Sa, but it's against an Ezreal, so ganking that is going to be incredibly difficult. I'd expect trying to set up this top lane for Kingin, and the same thing from Kai'Sa. We easily could see 2v2s up in the top lane with a Trundle and a Lee Sin with these 2 top laners. Wukong and Mordekaiser, both of them, if they get a lead, can really ruin the day of the opponent's team. So we could well see priority on that top half of the map from both of these junglers.
We see very much that Mordekaiser likes this matchup here in the LPL. We'll digress, because going into game 2, for BLG, odds stacked against them. But they have pulled out surprise wins so far here in summer. You look across the board against V5, against E-Star. Even winning the E-Star series, that's their only series win. BLG need to do something amazing to beat top Esports, who look to be on form, who once again get Ezreal Yuumi. Now, I am super glad Aphelios has been banned 2 games in a row. But let's go to the next issue. Ezreal and Yuumi is such a good duo at the moment. And you got a barrier for JackieLove for game 2.
Yeah, JackieLove going with barrier in that bottom lane. Obviously, Yuyanja can bring heal to their table, so he doesn't need to worry about bringing heal himself. Do sometimes see the teleport used, but...
Do you want the lowdown on Orianna as the Orianna aficionado?
Yeah, you got a tattoo of it.
Dude.
Tell me.
My first
Teach
tat.
me.
So, Phase Rush, just on a personal level, feels really good. The ability to proc Phase Rush as an Orianna, as a lot of people will know, this is the most popular rune choice at the moment, outside of what was before with the Airy, and we never really saw a comment that was silly. It was pretty much just Airy. Phase Rush, you auto QW, or you QWE, and get the command protect slide through an enemy champion, and you get Phase Rush, which is insane. It's so easy, and the follow-up trades, when you have dissonance under you, when the ball returns through command protect, the trades and the follow-up, you never not outrun an opponent, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's really good for getting into position as well, especially during those team fights, being able to step forward a little bit quicker, get your shockwave off if you need to.
Do you think me having a tattoo of Orianna makes me an expert?
Arguably.
The argument is, who knows, could be a little bit
I like the
strong.
word arguably, because you can argue just about anything.
If I got to challenge her with Orianna, then it would be pretty much the way to go, right? People would be like, I got respect for this guy. As JackieLove doesn't have respect for Shinmo.
Yeah, if you were a challenger player that one-tricked Orianna, I would respect your
Okay,
opinion on Orianna.
But otherwise, that's actually
I mean,
a
I don't
loaded
disagree with anything you said. I agree. Phase Rush feels really good on Orianna.
Okay.
Airy used to be the rune that we saw a lot of people. I mean, Airy is still good on Orianna as well. Like,
what else? There was
bolsters
a
the
time
shield,
where,
but-
like, for some reason, people were doing, like, electrocute for, like, a patch.
Yeah, that was
while
kind of
ago.
when the runes first came out, though, and it's... I guess you could run it if you were being really aggressive.
Oh, no.
Kingen is in...
Kingen might have to flash this over the wall. Sonic Wave is going to be up in a second, and the execution available. The flash burnt first into the kill. First blood secured before BLG bring the rest.
So remember during Champ Select, I was like, look, these
Top?
junglers can really focus on the top side. Kasa didn't even focus on the top side. Kingen just walked into him in the jungle.
He wanted a deep ward, and he got punished for it.
Yeah, Kasa was already there, and well, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Already had the red buff, so slowed down. 369 was able to come down as well.
I don't know what's happened with the individual members on this team. BLG in week 1 of spring 2020, they looked like one of the best teams in the LPL. They were smart, they were paced so damn well. As Best 16 is going to run in tonight. He might have to flash as well. The damage comes down. The command protect, he holds it. This is also the phase rush bonus. It's so easy to get.
Yeah, and don't forget as well, it removes slows, I believe, so he's able to just dash away from the situation. Nothing best can do about that one.
But let me come back to the core of the argument. Kingen came into this roster and I thought, wow, Kingen and ADD are both such good top laners. Kingen and Fofo look great with Meteor. And then something happened over the break as JackieLove is going to dodge away from the dredge line. Gets locked down anyway into a straight line. Doesn't really matter. Shinmo gets traded back. Something happened over the break. And BLG came back in that COVID break and looked horrible. So uncoordinated. They were doing just really dumb things. And we're stuck in that BLG phase where we're like, what happened to this team? And why do they look like a bottom 3, bottom 6? You can see I'm aggravated because this team should be good as JackieLove again. A couple of trades going to come through. Shinmo is running out of mana, but JackieLove and Yuyanja still got a bit in their pocket.
I mean, there was a lot of stuff happened, I think, behind the scenes.
Yeah,
for
we
this
know
team.
that. I'm obviously not going to say that on broadcast, but
I'm not going to, but like,
hang on.
if you're going to ask the question, we all know what happened to this team.
Wings is running JackieLove's skin on Kai'Sa. Do you think that qualifies as BM?
Nah, I think that qualifies as respect, honestly.
Really?
It's kind of like saying, look, like if you wear the skin of your opponent, you're kind of saying, look,
Wear the skin of your opponent.
hang on, yeah.
Yeah, you got to think about that.
I got a little bit Hannibal for a second there, but I'd say that is like, look, I'm against the beast right here. I know who I'm against. I respect that you're the
Also,
guy for this.
If you beat someone on their skin, that feels like it's trending towards BM.
But it's important to remember, Jakilov chose the Ezreal here as the first pick, so it's not like Wings took the Kai'Sa away from him.
And when they win Worlds this year, he can get an Ezreal skin.
True. Yeah. I'm expecting Jakilov to go for an Ezreal skin if they win Worlds.
What do you think the color theme would be? Because with top Esports, sorry, FPX, it was like red and... What's the other color? Like white? Red and white? What would top Esports?
It was like orangey, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like red-orange.
Top Esports would just be
I
red,
think
like SKT.
Like red and black, probably.
That's like
or like
SKT.
orange and black. Orange and black with the logo.
Because what were SKT? Red and
I'm
yellow?
hoping they dress them all as knights, right? Because that's the whole point of the top esports is it's like a knight's helmet.
But if you're a player on top, if you're like Jakilov, you're like, I don't want to be dressed like knight. I want to be myself. Why would you want to dress like a player? And then he kind of takes the credit for it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Jakilov will get the credit for his skin, even if it has a helmet on it. We'll have to wait and see what they're going to go for. If they can win Worlds, let's bear in mind, we're only a third of the way through.
No, you got to stick out your guns. They're going to win LPL, then win Worlds.
Like, I firmly believe they are the favorite as of right now, but there's a long time until Worlds. Like, there is plenty of time. We've seen teams looking promising and implode in the past. Pillar's going to do nothing. Best can't get in here. First strike did go the way of BLG. We've kind of been chatting away here. Let's kind of recap on where we're at. Top Esports building a small gold lead for themselves. But important to mention, the Herald will be coming up in 1:15. And that's how Top started their snowball in game number 1.
Knight flashes away. That's a good flash. Kingen was coming in with ulti and flash himself. So that forced out Knight under a bit of pressure this game. He doesn't have TP either. And Fofo able to shove this wave out while FLICKR challenging against best 16. The whole team's here. And Top Esports are losing out a little bit early. Some good objective control from BLG.
Nicely done here from BLG. Obviously, they were well aware that Knight had to recall. He was forced away in the mid lane. Fofo still had his ultimate and priority in the mid lane, so no real way for Top Esports to contest on that one. Also, Yuumi early on in the game doesn't add a lot to a fight, so Nautilus, a massive advantage over them in the bottom lane.
Especially when he's getting close towards level 6 as well. Folks still coming out in this bottom lane, but not yet have we seen any turret plates go down. Just trying to look at the screen. It's very far away. Nope, no turret plating. So a much better start for BLG. You have to say it, 10 minutes in the game. Last time around, Top Esports were up by about 1,000, 1,500 just through the lane state. Trying to influence that now. There is the first turret plating going down to 369 with Knight challenging. You wouldn't expect him to be in here, but best 16 gets surprised.
Yeah, and I like this from Top Esports. They basically say, look, you're going to take our red buff. We're going to take yours. We've got priority up in the top side. Obviously, Wukong struggles in this matchup. Doesn't have the MR from his passive. It's only going to give armor and health. So 369 able to get a pretty significant advantage up towards the top side, and he'll continue to build a CS lead for himself. That means Kai'Sa can start this one off. However, Fofo and Best are going to answer here.
Spotted out on a ward, so Kai'Sa goes back to his own jungle, but he's spotted out here as well. The Herald's like, it's that's Tinder Herald, right? He sees the blue buff and he's like, you know, hey, it's Shelly versus Harold, the blue buff.
Yeah, I guess. He swiped right on that one. Yeah. But then Harold swiped left, so he walked back to the pit.
Because if you think about matchups, that would be perfect. The blue buff and the Herald getting together would be gorgeous.
Yeah. I mean, he is a rock, though.
Well,
I don't know how, you know, into that
she's
stuff
kind of
rocks
rocky
are.
as well. And they both die, you know? They got so much in common.
That's not really a good
Harold
reason to date.
And Shelly.
We both die, let's date. That's not a great thing in common to work with.
I think Harold and Shelly would be great together.
Good way to start a conversation, though. Great icebreaker in a bar. Hey, we both die.
Yeah. So I was just trying to think about what else they'd do on their date. But probably...
die?
No, well, you end with that,
It's getting
right?
real dark.
Is there any bugs in the world that kind of die as they mate?
Probably.
There is one.
Isn't it bees?
The praying mantis, the females, I think, eat the head off the males. Or bees, you're right as well.
I think it's wasps, maybe.
Oh,
I'm not
maybe.
sure. One of these
One of them.
stripy ones. Maybe it's tigers.
Stripy ones, yeah. Could be a zebra.
Could be any of them. Animal Kingdom and all that. Oh, who knows? God.
We
Who am
are
I? David Attenborough? I don't think
We're
so.
definitely not the same, are we? I mean, essentially, we came from England, but that was a while ago.
He's talking about Australians.
Yeah,
species.
I am.
Yeah. We kind of...
We're going down the path, aren't
Yeah.
we? We're going to stop right here before we get in trouble.
England has a controversial history.
Yeah.
I don't particularly want to visit it on broadcast.
Oh, God. Now, if Dragon's challenged, then this could be big for BLG. However, going into the pit, Best 16 get kicked away, secured. Shinmo goes to his death. And even with Subjugate, this is not a good move. Flashes over the wall. Knight picks up the kill. The death sentence is actually a death realm. Fofo shuffles him over the wall, but here's Karsa. And as he comes on out, Knight's waiting as well. The flash over the wall, and Fofo gets out alive.
That was
Was
nice.
nice, but the Dragon and the kill over to top Esports. They're 1,500 gold up.
Look, do you know what? In this matchup between Top and BLG, I'm okay with just accepting a nice play, right? I'm not expecting BLG to be able to take much away from Top Esports in this series. But if we get some nice little outplays, we get a couple of little mechanics coming out, I'm going to take that.
Okay.
So, again, we see Top Esports here able to get themselves the Drake. Ultimately, do you know what, Jake? I'm not an analyst. I'm not really sure why they were the ones that were able to get the Drake.
That's okay.
I don't feel like either of these compositions are super strong right now, but Cast are the one on the scene.
We can go back.
That's what matters.
Maybe the red buff and the blue buff are the ones that date. That's wrong of me. Shelly's the third wheel. Herald's going to go down. Now, the gold should be going over to Fofo. He is close enough. Actually shared across the board, but the turret will not drop. Still looking for first turret blood.
Yeah, obviously Best is going to get his fair share of it as he's the one that used the Herald. Jackie Love jumps away, keeps himself safe. And we kind of have a bit of a reset. Jackie Love nearly getting 3 plates for himself already this game. And we're starting to see that gold lead that we saw in game number 1 build up to the side of Top Esports here. About 1,500 gold ahead as it stands right now. Knight not gonna, he could have took a turret plate there, but he wants to try and force Fofo out of the lane. He's going to get it on the next wave.
What's the thing you miss the most in League of Legends? I miss Feral Flare. That's my example.
You miss Feral Flare?
Yeah, that was fun. It was pretty freeload with Yi. Good time to be a Master Yi player.
Feral Flare sucked. I miss Regal's Land.
Oh, Yuanjia caught out. That's a Yumi. Shockwave, 3 members. The ultimate and Ignite. He's dead, but the damage has already been done. It's a trade onto Fofo. Knight just doing what Knight does.
That was beautiful, right? We get to see the Shockwave coming out from Knight. Cast is there to answer, so it's a kill for a kill. Support from mid laner. That means that complete control of the bottom half of the map is going to go the way of Top Esports.
I mean, even topside. There's turret plating's going out. Sorry, I spat on you, Joe. Turret plating's going to be coming out here as well.
Yeah, I mean, 369 has had control of that top side this entire time. Wukong not going to be able to offer much in the laning phase. You expect him to really come into his own once we get to these mid-game fights.
As Wings kicked against the wall. That's pretty easy. True Shot Barrage, but the Killer Instinct used. Not sure what Castle wanted out of that, but I guess he got it.
Well, Shinmo wasn't there at the time, and then as they go in, Shinmo appears, and they're like, okay, maybe we don't go for this time.
Top Esports are 2k gold ahead, though. Turret plating not as extensive as game number 1, but there's still a little bit to go around. While for BLG, a lot of it went down through the mid lane.
So these next few minutes, the next 5 to 6 minutes, are going to be deciding a lot for this game. These next 2 Drakes especially, because BLG, as we mentioned before in the draft, they have a lot of late game scaling. They've got this Azir, they've got this Kai'Sa. Late game team fights look amazing for BLG.
Yeah.
But when you look at how hard Top Esports are going to spike in the mid game, once again, similar thing to what we saw in game number 1, is Orianna is going to look great in the mid game once she gets sort of 1-2 items, spikes incredibly hard. The Shockwave now at level 11 as well, going to do tons of damage. Jackie Love on 2 items, on 3 items, is going to be able to tear through people. And once again, we have this issue where unless Shinmo is able to find a hook onto Jackie Love, which I really don't see happening, it's all down to Kingen to set up kills onto that.
Honestly, I feel like it's who engages first, right? Because you talk about 369 ulti, Shockwave. If BLG are in a position to respond, Killer Instinct and the Dreamer Shuffle, and they could be in trouble as Jackie Love is now flashing away. The last chapter lined up. Maybe it's the final one as the top laner comes on in and Kingen does the job while Fofo gets solo killed.
And Knight gets the second solo kill of the game already. That was beautiful, though, from Best 16. The pillar was perfect. There's only a tiny little spot that you can get a knock-up like that with, but he finds it against an Ezreal That is really nice to see.
This BLG are trading something here. 15 minutes in, they get the turret, second turret of their game, while Caster gets topside, or rather it's 369 and the Herald.
See, if Fofo doesn't die here, this
great.
is a nice play from BLG. Because Fofo dies, they lose pressure in the mid lane. They lose top lane because
he tried to come
obviously
down. Ori damage at this point.
He just flashes, yeah. There's that phase rush you were talking about.
Hey.
Gets the movement speed,
It's
finishes it off.
It's just such a nice fit.
And now, because obviously Kingan moved down, TP down, it meant that 369 can finish that tower. Knight gets a bunch of damage onto the mid lane tower as well. BLG are trying to start this streak off, but I feel like...
Best 16 could just get flash ulted here from 369, who walks into his death. Actually puts the death realm onto Shinmo, but he's going to come out into 5 people. The true shot rush comes in the field from Caster. The ult from Fofo misses as well. 369 survives. The shockwave is still available, folks, and they're in a group. Knight has the movement speed alongside Yuumi and is ready to lay it down. Pulls back in Shinmo, picks up an instant kill, while Caster sends everyone out. And Top Esports do it again.
I love watching Top Esports play. That Dragon Steal was so well orchestrated. Caster hits this Q on the Dragon and just waits for the True Shot Barrage to come in. Times it beautifully, goes in at the exact same time so they can burst it down from 1,000 health. Now Knight gets to push on forward in the mid lane with this Rift Herald that they already grabbed earlier, Blue Peter style. And again, we get to this mid-game. I said the next couple of Drakes are going to be so important. And again, Top Esports start to really push their gold lead. Caster's been found, though.
Kingan does have another ulti available, but just has to reach Caster, who's on the run. The rest of the Top Esports are on his tail, knocked on up and dead. Knight won't be able to get a trade this time around. BLG still looking for picks. At least they're finding something.
And here's the problem. The kills that BLG have had this game have all been kind of... There's no way for them to capitalize on that kill right now. 369 can move up to the top side. He can defend that tower. You got Knight able to just clear things out in the mid lane. The tier 1's already gone down. There's no objective on the map for BLG to capitalize on a dead Caster. He'll be back long before the next Herald spawns. So it's a nice pickup, and it's a great amount of gold going over to Kingan, who's 3-1 right now. I already said he was going to be the focus when it came to just the draft itself. Now he's got all the gold for the team as well. Oh, 369. Oh, I thought he brought the clone into the death realm. He didn't.
True Shot Barrage helped with that steal. Bottom left-hand side of your screen. That was nice.
Really important to mention, Orianna is massive right now with an Oblivion Orb. I thought that was going to be a fight, so I stopped talking.
Knight with a highlight.
Knight has hit a Ludens. He's got his boots. He's got an Oblivion Orb. He has so much Magic Pen. He is going to one-shot Wings if he's caught in a Shockwave.
Damage per minute again. That was 440. Knight level 13. And look, Blue Buff has gone for a journey. The Tinder dating continues while the top side, there's an engage, and Caster's going to die. Top Esports getting over-ambitious. The Shockwave misses. Shinmo golden at the right time. 369 missed times, but the Death's Grasp pulls them in while in a choke. Fofo now has to escape. Death Realm, he's pulled in, and there's no turret here. So Fofo is going to drop down. And Top Esports run through the choke, and they pick up more kills.
And, like, what are you defending here, BLG? You're defending what, Blue Buff? You cannot fight Top Esports right now. They are way ahead of you, and they are spiking super hard. Ezreal has 2 items. You've got the Yuumi that's starting to get online with this Athenes as well. Knight is there with a Ludens and that Oblivion Orb that I just talked about. For some reason, BLG are like, this is our moment to team fight.
It's gone wrong a third time for Fofo. We'll have a look again because the challenge started with Shinmo.
And like, look, Wukong isn't even here, so you don't have your strongest member available. Kingan has no way to get into this fight. Sure, you get a pick onto Caster to start it off, but ultimately, you're never going to win that out 5v5.
Well, now what, Mr. Joe?
Well, now we see pretty much what we saw in game number 1. Top Esports have themselves this early lead, about 4,000 gold as of right now. Next straight going to be spawning in a minute and a half, but it's going to be the Herald first. And Herald is exactly how Top Esports snowballed game number 1. We saw they got themselves a fantastic lead. They got themselves a couple of extra towers over their opponent, went for the Herald, and immediately took it to a tier 2 to continue snowballing. Or in fact, that's the Baron spawning. What am I talking about?
Ooh, Top Esports
Classic.
around it. Not much vision. Is there a ping in Baron? Is there a ward in Baron, I should say?
I would say I don't think they can do Baron realistically.
No,
They're
of
far
course
enough
not.
ahead where they probably could just do it. They've got a
He can
Leandri's.
threaten it, right? The point of Baron is threatening with no vision. Top Esports have cleared out the vision in the pit.
Consider the Baron that they did last game, right? They didn't have damage. It was a slow Baron, but ultimately they had an Ezreal, so they just took it down slowly but surely. It's going to be spotted by Shinmo here, so they decide to back away.
Drops another ward on his way out as well. So Top Esports aware of that one. JackeyLove moves back to the mid wave. He only arcane shifts forward. There you go. Kingen gets tagged out in half health by the 2 items on JackeyLove.
And you can see Best 16 is on the top half of the map. Cast has just recalled, and he's making a beeline towards this dragon. There is no way that BLG can contest this one unless there's some kind of miracle play out of Kingen. But realistically, you don't need to contest this Drake. It's the next one you've got to worry about. As BLG, what you want to do right now is just try and get some vision control of the Baron area while they do the Drake.
I'll ask you a question. With Cloud Soul on a Wukong, does it proc? Because it's like 6 seconds. Does it proc on the second part of the ulti as well? So it does it twice.
Yep.
Because you have 12 seconds to re-engage, reuse your Cyclone. So that's fun. Actually, that's a really cool interaction.
Zoom it around. And especially, obviously it procs while you're spinning as well.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult for anyone to get away if you don't get the initial knockup when you first press the button.
Does it do it while spinning? Because you know that the part of the Cloud Soul is waiting till after the ult channel. But the Cyclone itself is the duration.
I thought it was just on cast, right?
Well, for example, like, what's a good example? The Shockwave, it'll happen after the Shockwave has been used, not as you press R.
Yeah, but the difference is the Shockwave has a wind-up, whereas Wukong's ultimate has no wind-up, right? It's like, you're not, like, the cast is like 0.1 second or whatever.
Yeah, I was thinking of a better champion, like Syndra. After all the orbs are down, that's when you get the movement speed. So, it's kind of fun, these little interactions. I know Cloud Soul is the least popular.
But either way, we don't have to worry about it, because I don't see any universe where BLG are going to get themselves a Cloud Soul this game.
4K gold behind.
I can tell you, 369 is going to be real speedy in the Death Realm, though.
You'd look towards Cyclone. Kingen goes on in. Big knock-up. Almost dies in the process, but JackeyLove is healed massively. The kick back sends Fofo away. And Cast is now by himself, but doesn't care because Knight's on the tail. That's a big pick. Kingen goes down, and it's a 4 versus 5.
Look, there are 4 letters that are relevant to that engage, and it's T-I-L-T. Kingen trying to force something that realistically he just didn't need to. Top Esports now have a window to go towards Baron. TP is available for Kingen, so it's possible that he can find his way in, but there's no... Oh, there is a deep ward behind the Baron.
We're doing this once again. Knight and JackeyLove zoning them away. Arcane shift away for the first time in about 10 years. As alongside the Yuumi, this is what happened in game 1.
Yeah. The big problem is there's like no Baron damage on Top Esports, so this is incredibly slow from them. Kingen has respawned. He's going to TP to the mid lane, and BLG are going to look for the fight to try and salvage this game.
Best 16 is a level ahead as Shinmo misses, is bursted down, flushes away. JackeyLove over the wall again on top of Wing.
Oh, he stole it!
Stolen! I told you the level difference was there, but with the Shockwave, Top Esports now need to take the fight. 369 takes him into the death realm a little bit late, while Kingen respawns to get the kill. 369 will follow up as well as JackeyLove goes forward. And everyone dies, bar Kingen, for the Baron steal.
Knight got away on a sliver of HP as well. Everything that could go wrong went wrong for BLG there. They even got this steal, but it's not enough. Only Kingen walks away with a Baron buff. And the question now is, what can Top Esports do with this priority? They already got the mid-tier 2, but there's a huge wave crashing in the top side.
I will say, to hold off a solo lane, at least Kingen's got something. As we'll watch this steal again.
Yeah, just flashes in, literally
That's
just
a better
takes
smite.
it. Easy peasy. JackeyLove does get taken down during this fight. Actually, no, JackeyLove didn't get taken down during this fight.
Nah, he is a Yuumi.
Look at Knight, barely walking away from this one. Ultimately, 369 just ruins everything for his opponent, takes him into the death realm, and it's an easy cleanup for JackeyLove.
JackeyLove picked up his first kill of the game, actually. The rest have been going to Knight, who again has a Magize at 18 stacks.
Yeah.
So, let's do it again. by Steely Dan.
And, like, look, we're getting to the point in the game now, 25 minutes in. It's a 6,000 gold lead. So much of that 6,000 gold is the difference between mid laners right now. I was talking about power spikes and timings and whatnot. When you have this level of item difference, look at the scoreboard right now. 18 stack Magi's, a needlessly large rod, as well as your Morellos and the Ludens. On the other side, Fofo literally has one completed item in his boots. Finally just picks up a Banshees as well. He is so far behind on this Azir. The conversation of scaling does not matter at all.
Because they can lose a Baron, make that mistake, and then take the fight anyway. It's crazy how things happen.
And look, Soul's coming up in 40 seconds. The question is, what can BLG do about it? Because they have no teleport anywhere, so 369 doesn't even have to be here if he doesn't want. He's going to recall. And to be honest, you can send off 369 elsewhere if you want, but you don't need to. Just have him in the fight.
Kingen not faking this one, gets kicked away immediately by Kasa, locked down, and will die. On top of best 16, Knight picks up a kill, and pretty sure he's maxed his Magi's. Fofo at half health, poked away, and Jackie Love alongside Yu Yanja is going to head this one up. Forward they only go. Another kill over to Jackie. Knight definitely fully stacked now, and 369 adds another. This game, much like the first, is in the books for top esports.
And realistically, there's just nothing you can do. Kingen trying to force these engage, trying to find something for his team, but it's just not working out. And this Ezreal Yuumi, as soon as you are on the back foot in a fight, they will not let you go. In the meantime, while this inhibitor is under pressure in the mid lane, Cast is going to be able to go for the Dragon. Jackie Love is perfectly safe to just go for this one. Best cannot contest this on his own. The death time is timing on down. With King in there, maybe Jackie Love has to back away. Maybe not. They're just going top lane.
Hey, you got a Cloud Soul. 369 is going to go bot, set up that wave, and it's going to feel pretty nice. I wish, as a Yuumi, with your ulti, you gave the movement speed to whoever you're attached to. That'd be cool. That'd be a cool little Cloud Soul interaction. Kingen tried again, but Cast is always on him.
I'm not going to lie, Historics, I don't think Yuumi needs any buffs right now. I'm quite happy with how she is, without any kind of extra damage.
Could you imagine if Yuumi ults and you get the movement speed? Actually, that sounds a bit OP.
That would be insane.
That sounds a
with
bit OP.
Things like Taric. No, hang on. Yuumi Taric, that doesn't work. Things like Kassadin.
Ah, yeah.
Things like Olaf.
Yeah.
Imagine Olaf when he Ragnaroks gets movement speed. As soon as it times out,
I take that
Yuumi
buff
ults
back.
as well.
Yeah, that's too OP.
Get that out of my game.
Oh man, I'm so sorry I haven't suggested that. Yeah, Yumi's, I wouldn't say fine where she is, but Yumi's there.
Yumi's really strong, but Yuumi is only strong in specific compositions, which I think is fine. I honestly think it's okay to have really strong champions, so long as there are very clear weaknesses.
Yep.
Like, Yuumi is not particularly strong during the early game. You concede a lot of pressure in the lane. Like, Ezreal Yuumi, in almost every matchup, loses priority, aside from obviously jungle influence and things like that. Like, ultimately, if they have a AD carry, if they have a Felios, for example, you're never getting lane priority with Ezreal Yuumi. It's just later on that it becomes strong.
Still, the healing could do with a touch-up. You know? Just a bit.
It is pretty good.
It
but
is
I would
pretty damn
argue that this is more of an issue of Death's Dance being really good. It has been nerfed on 1013. I'm really curious if that's going to reduce the presence of Ezreal Yuumi.
It's interesting, you're talking about 1013 a little bit today. I have not looked at it because it would just confuse the heck out of me. Like, there was a time last year when I would keep up with the patch I'm playing on solo queue, but because the LPL's always behind a patch, it's just so confusing.
That's actually been better than usual this year, hasn't it?
A little bit.
I feel like we're pretty close to...
But Chinese solo queue is still behind the rest of the world at like a week, I'd say. Where LPL's kind of like 2 weeks behind.
We do have a siege in the mid lane, though, in the top lane, sorry.
Oh, Caster's
Good
kick
flash.
went a little bit wrong. No, maybe. No, Fofo didn't flash. He just pressed E. So it was a nice little dodge away.
Hang on. Did Caster get behind him, then flash to the wrong side of him?
I'm not sure.
I think he might have.
Maybe he expected
hilarious.
Fofo to flashes. Kingen is dealing with 369, who hasn't died. That's a good push in. Fofo with a great ulti, but Jackie Love's back to full health and alive. Death Dance with Yuumi, that's right. Still looking strong as top esports. They don't die at all. The Cloud Soul helps. And now with the TP in, it looks like Fofo's ready to die too. Poke on the fountain. Jackie Love with another double. And this was a massacre. Both series tonight have been slaughters. But it was top esports delivering BLG to an early grave to finish off your Wednesday night.
And Knight looks damn good on the Orianna, 8-0 and 13 at the end. I feel a little bit bad for Kase. It was his job to start these fights, so as a Lee Sin, you're not that tanky. He does get burst